Sai Charitham Chapter 13, The Cure of Bhimaji's Tuberculosis. In this chapter, there is a story of Bhimaji Rao Patil's cure of tuberculosis, who was from Narayan village of Junnar, Tehsil. Bhimaji Rao was a well-to-do person of Narayan village of Junnar in the district of Pune. He was hospitable to everyone. He was always happy, but destiny plays strange games. In 1909, Bhimaji had cough and later tuberculosis. He had high temperature. Bhimaji lost all hope of recovery. He would froth at the mouth and also started vomiting. All treatments were tried, but all was in vain. All rites and rituals were performed. Doctors also gave up hope of survival of Bhimaji. Bhimaji worshipped his family deity, but it could not restore his health. Even exotics lost the hopes. Then Bhimaji thought, God sends difficulties and make a person remember him. So he started remembering God. His cries were heard by God. Bhimaji was inspired to send a letter to Nana Sahib Chandorkar of Shedi. He wrote him a letter. I am fed up of taking medicines. I am tired of life. Doctors also have given up all hope, but I have a strong desire to meet you. Chandorkar was moved after reading Patil's letter because he knew Bhimaji was a good soul. In his reply, he suggested a remedy to Bhimaji. Surrender at Sai's feet. He is the only savior. He is both mother and father. He is compassionate mother to all. Even leprosy is cured by his darshan. What then is tuberculosis? Have no doubts. Come to Shidi and surrender at his feet. He himself says, I will grant whatever anyone asks. So make haste and come for his darshan. Bhimaji took his relatives and set out for Shidi after reading the letter. He was eager to know when he would see Shady. Bhimaji's cart arrived at the gate of the courtyard of the masjid. 4 persons carried Bhimaji up the steps of the masjid. Nana Sahib was with him. Madhav Rao also reached there. Looking at Patil, Baba said, Oh Shyama, from where do you get hold of these scoundrels and dump them on me? Is it a good deed? Bhimaji put his head at feet of Sai and said, Oh Sainath, have pity on this orphan creature. Protect me, O caretake of the weak. Sainath was moved listening to the story of Bhimaji Rao. He said, Sit down and stop worrying. Wise people do not worry. You destined miseries have got over as soon as you stepped into Shady. However, deeply immersed in the ocean of troubles or buried deep in the valley of miseries, know that when he climbs the steps of Masjid Mai, he will ride on a wave of happiness. The fakir here is very kind. He will destroy all the troubles. So be at rest. Go and stay at Bhima Bai's house. You will get relief within a couple of days. Patil used to vomit blood at intervals of every 5 minutes. This stopped once he sat in front of Baba. Baba did not give any medical treatment to him. He did not ask for the reason of illness. Only with a merciful glance of Sai, the disease was destroyed from the root. One has to experience the effect of destiny because of all the good and bad deeds that he have collected from his previous birth. There is no other remedy or freedom from it other than to undergo suffering. But by good fortune, if one gets the darshan of a saint, then not only is one cured of illness but also heals without suffering. And again, there was a person named Balaganapat who was a tailor and a devotee. He suffered a lot because of malaria. He came to Baba and said, What shall I do? I have tried all medicines. You tell me some remedy. Baba said, Feed a few morsels of curd and rice to a black dog near the temple of Mother Lakshmi. You will be cured of malaria. After that, he recovered. Bapu Sahib Booty had a chill in the stomach and suffered from continuous loose motion and vomiting. No medicine was effective. Baba made him sit before him and shaking his forefinger before his face and said, "Beware, from now onwards, you will not go to the toilet, and also your vomiting must stop." His words had such weightage that both the alignment got scared and Booty felt better. Once there was a cholera epidemic in the village. At that time, Booty suffered from it. He had vomiting and motions simultaneously. He was in distress. He had intense thirst. Dr. Pillai tried whatever was possible. At last, they went to Baba and said, "What should we give him? Coffee or water?" To this, Baba said, "Make him drink an infusion of milk boiled with almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. This is quench in thirst, and his disease will be cured." It was accordingly done, and Booty was completely cured. Once a Swami from Alandi came to Shirdi for Baba's darshan. He was suffering from ear pain. He got himself operated, but it was of no use. Madhavrao Deshpande requested Baba to cure Alandi Swami. Maharaj assured him, saying, "Allah will make it well." Swami went to Pune, and after 8 days he sent a letter to Baba saying that the pain of the ear has subsided. Because of swelling in the ear, Swami went to Bombay for operation. The doctor examined the ear, but no swelling was visible. The doctor said that there was no need of any operation. Everyone was surprised, and Swami's worries were over. Again, there is a similar story. 8 days before the laying of flooring of the courtyard began, Mahajini suffered from acute indigestion. He left his burden on Baba. When he wills it, he will grant me relief of his own. With this implicit faith, he bore the disease. Baba gave him permission to lay the flooring and said, "I am going to the Lendi. When I return from Lendi, you must start the work of the flooring at that time." Later, Baba returned and sat on his seat. Just then, in the lower part of the courtyard, in the place where the rath used to be kept, exactly at the same spot, the first stroke of the pickaxe was struck, and the work was laying in the courtyard floor began. No sooner did he hear the noise that Baba shouted strangely. In an instant he became Narasimha. His eyes blazed with fury. Who is that striking with a pickaxe? I will break his back." Saying this, he got up carrying his satka. The laborers threw aside the pickaxe and fled. Kaka too was frightened. At that moment, Baba held him by his hand and said, "Where are you going? Sit down." Tatya, Lakshmi and the other present there received a hurling torrent and abuses. Then he picked up a bag of roasted peanuts. He cleaned them and fed the nuts to Majini and ate few himself. When the nuts were finished, he said, "Bring some water. I am thirsty." He drank some water and told him also to drink it. Then he said, "Go, your sufferings are ended. Where are those wretched Brahmins? Go and fetch them." The flooring work was resumed. It was the words of the saint and the peanuts that acted as medicine, and the diarrhea was cured. The householders of Harda, named Tattopant, were suffering from shooting pains in the stomach and had been harassed by it for 14 years. He had heard about the powers of Sai, so he came to Shirdi. Baba placed his hand on his head, and Maharaj made him stay there for some days. Slowly, the shooting pains in the stomach disappeared. Bhimaji Patel was permitted to return to his place. Baba rubbed some udi on his forehead and kept his hand on his head. Patel stood up and walked up to the cart on foot. From there he went to the place previously decided by Baba. Though the place was small and the floor was wet, even then Patil obeyed Baba's order, stayed there and slept peacefully. That same night Bhimaji had a dream. He saw his childhood teacher and the teacher began to beat him and make him learn a poem. She is known as the real or ideal wife who thinks she stepped on the head of a serpent if she even enters a stranger's house. Her words are so rare that they are like wealth procured from a misery. She feels profoundly happy when she gives pleasures to her husband, even though they may not be having money in the house. She behaves according to her husband's wish without hesitation. Immediately afterwards, he had a second dream. In this in his dream, he saw a person forcibly sitting on the chest. The person used his chest as a grinding stone and took another stone as a roller and started grinding. The dream ended. He slept comfortably. Patil was completely cured of his disease on the same day. Om Shri Sai Nathaya Namaha.